Namaste, this is Gaia Mother Sofia, incarnation of Kuan Yin, female Christ, Mary and Goddess Isis. This is the Merkaba, which is your light body, which is beautiful rose quartz Merkaba, which I also wear around my neck. So I want to keep that there, trying to get it in the view of the camera so that it can also give you some healing energy whilst we talk. There you go. And this is the Ark, which is the key of life, which really is the original cross, and the scarab there is for protection. So I'm going to hold this whilst I talk to you. So I did a spiritual healing here. It was very interesting because the two people that came, I actually met I've known them for years here in India. They're members of the press, but they're like very well respected, and they were at my press conference and handed me 2 bracelets to charge. And whilst I was doing that, I got an energy from them and said, you know, one of them actually lost his wife due to a very tragic accident. So I said that he could come to me and speak with her as I can channel her. When they came, we actually went into a very deep spiritual ceremony. And what happened was really, really sacred. One of them went deep into a place of who he really was, and he initially saw lots of blue light, and then he saw 3 murti, which are like gods, who basically told him off and said, you know, what are you doing back here? We did what we were supposed to. And he obviously didn't, so he was quite ashamed. And then he went into a room and he saw on top of a big pole there was a blue crystal, like shining its light everywhere. And he said to me, oh, my heart was saying that I should really go and get that crystal. I believe it's the blue crystal that brings healing light to the earth. And he said as he went to take it, whilst he was deep in meditation, I actually blew on his forehead, and that took him somewhere else. And where he went to, he was in a place full of shivlingam, shivling, which is, if you Google it, SHIV, ling, shivling. So it's a god in India. There are theories that there's a shivling in Mecca, that the black stone is a shivling there. You know, whatever you want to call it, God's stone. And I believe this is universal. So he saw the shivling. So there was lots of shivlings in circles, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of them, and in the middle was one made of crystal, and inside that crystal was me in the meditation position with my hands like this on my knees, and which was quite humbling for someone to see, because he had an insight into who I am. And afterwards he did meet his wife, and she was standing behind a glass with half glass on one face and her bindi on, wearing white but no lipstick. And he was trying to get to her, but he couldn't. But he then saw his house door open, meaning that she, you know, her presence is always there. So it was wonderful. And the second guy, when I did the meditation with him, he didn't really see much up until right at the end when I put my hands on him. And I started crying because he's been through a lot of pain in his life, and I could feel all of that pain, and it was another spirit. So there was a spirit that was attached to his current body, his current spirit, which was affecting his current life. And I had to feel the pain of the past spirit in order to release it. And I put my hands on him and all the pain came through my body and I was crying, and at that point he said that he could see his soul dance around, and there was me, my face in the middle, and he could see the soul dance around. The soul became free. What I want to tell you through this, and what information it's giving, is two things. First of all, we have a body which is a vehicle on this earth. We have had more than one life on this planet. All of us have. Some of them very, very sacred. In India, there are hundreds of thousands of gods. There are gods that have been here from Egypt. If you look at all of the myths, there's the gods in every myth, the Greek myth, the Egyptian myth. If we look at Jesus and Mary, now Jesus and Mary were actually the same story of Isis and Horus. It's the same story. So the origins of these stories, we have to look back where they came from. And we have to look at ourselves. I know that we are creator gods ourselves. Why are we born on this earth? Why are we here? Are we here just to repeat the pattern of procreation, just to keep having children and die and make lots of money? What do people want in life, really? Success is measured by money these days. Success is measured about what you look like these days. So I'm reaching out to you and telling you some truths of your past. And it's very evident with more and more meditations that I do with people. And how do you release yourself? When we've got to really think about what's happening in this world for us to pass in the other, to ascend. Because some people get stuck on this plane without a body, which means they can't really experience the life here after they've passed. And the way to do this is to let go of all the negativity in your body. See, because some of these souls are riding on souls that are alive, and some people will never know. So you need to remove judgment and fear from yourself in this life so you can pass. The secrets of life. I mean, I don't know if anybody's read the Book of the Dead. It's the Egyptian book, but it's actually a way of living life. And the stories from the Book of the Dead have really been carried on into the Testament of the Bible. There's a lot of the stories from, a lot of things like the Bhagavad Gita, the Bible, the Quran. We have to read between the lines and see what they're actually telling you. Your emotions and your thoughts create everything on this earth. Keep your thoughts and emotions to joy and happiness and peace and abundance. I know it's difficult. Some people say it's difficult, but it's only your thoughts. There is a matrix of programming running across the earth. And there is a manipulation taking place. But you are stronger than that. You are far more stronger than that. It's your consciousness that has been hijacked, and I'm asking you to take it back. How? Remove yourself from negative situations. Don't read the news. Be careful about what you believe rather than what you know. You've been taught since a very young age, when a child falls down or he starts crying or there's something wrong, we say, shh, it's okay, everything's okay. No, let them cry, let them scream. Let them let go of that energy, otherwise it stays in your body. And when it stays there, you're suppressing your natural divinity. But we've been taught to keep it in. We've been taught to keep everything in, and it rots in your body. And this stagnant energy isn't going to allow you to ascend. So release everything. In many ways you can release that through Reiki, crystal healing, through being honest. I met this child once in the days that I used to date, and I met this guy who had 2 children, and I got on with them like a house on fire until the day that one of the boys drew on my clothes, and I said, I don't like that, and he got really angry and said, I hate Sofia, I hate her. And I was then playing a game with his sister, and then 5 minutes later he came over and sat on my lap, and we were best friends again. That's because he released all that. At that moment, that's what he felt, and he was entitled to feel that at that moment, and he let it go. So I need you to start letting go of these energies. Don't put yourself in situations you don't want to be in. I want your souls to be free. And freedom comes when you lose fear, judgment, and let out any stale energy. See, because the only thing stopping you from receiving everything in this life, the only thing stopping you from receiving everything in this life is your own thoughts. So step out of the matrix, reclaim your consciousness, know your divinity. Trust the universal energy, allow it to flow through you, because the portals are open for ascension now. They're open now. It's a wonderful time now for you to have everything that's supposed to be yours. It's all already here for you to take. Reclaim your consciousness. Bring back joy to your hearts, because you are joy, you are freedom, and you are already abundant in everything. Everything is yours. I give you my blessings, and peace and joy. And may you take the advantage now to receive what's been waiting for you for such a long time. Namaste.